In a world of emptiness, Goku sat alone in the void, trying to comprehend what had happened. Meanwhile, on Earth, a whole week had passed. A deep sorrow weighed upon everyone after Goku's departure and Goten's death. But the greatest pain rested in Chi-Chi's heart. She had now lost the last of her family after Gohan vanished from Earth, leaving neither trace nor clue to his whereabouts. It was as if he had chosen to sacrifice everything to fulfill his promise to his father, to protect the Earth. Time moved on, yet Goku remained seated cross-legged on the ground, his eyes closed, his face calm despite the eternal nothingness surrounding him. The echo of the priest's words still lingered in his mind before he was sealed here. You will remain in this place forever. You have no life left, and there will be no return for you. Goku smiled faintly, replying with a voice that carried hope. Forever? Maybe. But that means I have unlimited time to think, to train, and maybe even to find a way out of here, as long as a piece of Goten's power lives within me. Lost in thought, Goku was suddenly interrupted by a soft, familiar voice. "Father?" Goku froze. His eyes flew wide open, and before him stood Goten, smiling with a reassuring warmth. Goku whispered in disbelief, "Goten, is that really you? How?" Goten smiled with confidence and answered, "I told you, Dad. I'll always be with you, even here." At that moment, the emptiness lost its weight. Time itself seemed to freeze as Goku's eyes locked with Goten's. He couldn't believe it. He lunged forward, embracing his son tightly as if afraid he would vanish from his arms. His voice trembled. "Is it truly you? How did you get here? Is this just a dream?" Goten smiled with a rare serenity. "Father, don't ask how. Just remember, the spirit never dies when the heart believes. You haven't lost me. I am always with you, in your strength, in your fear, in every time you rise after falling." Goku bowed his head, tears streaming down his face. His voice broke as he whispered, "I missed you so much, son. I thought I'd lost you forever." With a fading smile, Goten replied, "I never left, Dad. I was freed from my body, but I'll remain with you as long as your heart beats with hope." Goku asked anxiously, "What do you mean, son?" Calmly, Goten answered, "Look into your eyes, Father. I see hope in them. Hold on to that, no matter what." Slowly, Goten's body began to glow, his smile never fading. "Now, it's my time to go. Don't forget, I'm always with you, in spirit." And with that, Goten vanished like a flash of light, leaving Goku reaching into the emptiness before collapsing to his knees. At last, he realized that what he had experienced was nothing more than an echo from a shattered heart clinging desperately to hope. Clenching his fists, he unleashed a scream that tore through the stillness of the void, a cry of agony, love, and longing, a cry of a father who had lost everything. The sound reverberated through what remained of that strange world. As he knelt there, drowning in tears and silence, unseen eyes watched him from afar, observing him as though trying to understand this being. At first, Goku didn't sense the presence. He whispered to himself, trying to regain his composure. "Enough. I must focus. I need to understand what's happening here." Closing his eyes, he attempted to gather his thoughts. But before he could regain balance, he heard soft footsteps approaching from behind. He didn't turn. He assumed it was yet another illusion, like the voice of Goten that had faded moments before. But then, he felt it. A power, overwhelming and cold, unlike anything he had ever encountered. His eyes snapped open in shock. Turning slowly, his heart jolted. There she stood, a woman, stepping toward him with regal grace. Her features radiated an almost divine presence. Her hair flowed like threads of light, and her eyes shimmered with a serene brilliance that inspired awe and fear alike. She gazed at him in silence,
as though she had known him for an eternity.
In a distant, secret hall, around a grand table, the gods of destruction from across the universes gathered, each bearing in their eyes a storm of anger, fear, and threatened pride. Lequir spoke in a sharp, low voice. The death of Beerus is no simple incident. If we allow such a thing to pass without response, the very title of God of Destruction will lose its meaning. Another god with a faint coldness added, "Then others will dare to challenge us. We cannot leave this unpunished." A heavy silence followed, broken only when Belmod interjected, his tone fierce. "What we need is a clear plan. The annihilation of Universe 7, our ultimate option." A fourth god whispered with chilling malice, "We begin with Earth." But then one of them objected, "Wouldn't that put us at risk? The Omni King has a bond with Goku. If he discovers that we destroyed his homeworld, we could be erased." Belmod responded coldly, "The Grand Priest has already punished Goku. Perhaps an alliance with him could conceal this truth, granting us a card with which to deceive the king." Just as their voices rose and their schemes took shape, the doors of the hall slid open quietly. The Grand Priest entered as though he had been listening to their thoughts all along. Shock rippled through them. They had been plotting revenge, yet his sudden presence snared them in his grasp. The Grand Priest smiled faintly, his voice cold. "I heard everything. Your demands will be considered, but not now. Earth is in your hands. Do with it as you wish. As for Zeno, leave him to me." The gods exchanged uneasy looks, but then the priest continued with words that froze them in disbelief. 10 full years. By then, the Dragon Balls will reactivate, their last use being during the Tournament of Power. By that time, Zeno will be under my influence. Then you may take your step, but act before the appointed hour, and you will have raced ahead of fate itself, and into judgment far harsher. A long silence followed. They understood now. The game had changed. It was no longer a matter of hasty revenge, but of a conspiracy bound to time itself, a plot that could alter the course of everything. Far away, in the void, Goku stood frozen before the mysterious figure. He muttered nervously to himself, "What is this power? And why do I feel this strange presence?" The woman before him carried an aura of regal mystery. Her gaze was calm, yet piercing, as if she were reading his very thoughts. Slowly, she began to approach, each step thickening the tension in the air. Goku tried to speak, but the words stuck in his throat. Suddenly, he released a massive energy blast, so immense that had it been directed at Beerus, it might have ended him instantly. Yet the woman neither moved nor flinched. She stood unshaken, then continued walking forward. Panic rose in Goku. He lunged with a colossal punch that shook the entire void. But the true shock came when she caught his strike effortlessly, with a single hand. Unmoving, disbelief crept into Goku's heart. Even his new transformation wasn't enough to stir this enigmatic being. Then she finally spoke, her voice calm yet astonishing. "Hello, Goku." He froze, his eyes wide with wonder at the sound of his name on her lips. Quietly, he thought to himself, "Impossible. The Grand Priest locked me here with a woman, and she knows my name?" Suddenly, the woman struck back, sending Goku crashing into the ground with such force that he lay momentarily paralyzed. Struggling to rise, he felt the crushing weight of the situation pressing down on him. "You disappoint me," she said sternly. "I have watched you with this new power of yours, and I expected far more."
Goku tried to demand her identity, but she didn't answer directly. Instead, she explained the nature of this strange place. I have been here for over 1,000,000 years. This void feeds on your memories and thoughts. The more you think, the more it torments you. Her words hit him hard. He recalled the illusion of Goten, realizing it had been a manifestation of this realm itself. Curiosity burned within him, and he shouted angrily, "I want to know who you are!" The woman didn't answer outright. Instead, with eyes sharp as blades, she asked, "Don't you want to leave this place?" Goku's eyes widened, and he stammered, "You have the key to that?" Without warning, she raised her hand. Enormous chains of energy erupted and wrapped around him, binding him in place. They were impossibly heavy, pressing down with the weight of billions of tons. Even with his transformation, he couldn't move. The woman's voice was firm, almost instructive. "You will know the answer when you break free of these bonds. The more you think, the heavier they grow. Empty your mind. Cast away every thought, and they will lighten." Collapsed on the ground, gasping for breath, Goku slowly began to understand. This woman hadn't put him to the test to destroy him, but to guide him toward the path he needed to walk.
A long time passed. Goku no longer knew how many years or moments had slipped away, for time in this world had lost all meaning. The only thing that consumed his mind were those crushing chains that bound him. Gradually, he began regaining control over his body, resisting the unbearable weight. Each time he fell, he rose again with greater resolve, until at last he managed to stand firm beneath their overwhelming pressure. The mysterious woman watched him in silence, before speaking calmly. "It seems you've begun to understand the nature of this place, but don't celebrate too soon. All of this was merely a prelude to the true training." Goku's eyes widened in shock. "What? All this was just a prelude?" She smiled faintly and replied, "Escaping this place cannot be achieved through physical strength. It happens only when you silence every particle of thought within your mind. When you reach that state, only then will we speak of a way out." For a brief moment, hope flickered in Goku's eyes, but she swiftly shattered it with her cold tone. "It will not be that easy." She raised her hand again, and new chains appeared, this time burning with fire, flames hot enough to melt stone itself. They coiled around his body, filling the void with a crimson glow. Goku screamed, a searing cry that shook the emptiness itself. Yet death did not exist here. His pain repeated endlessly without release. Amid the inferno, her voice rang sternly, "Beware, Goku. The more you focus on the pain, the worse it will become. Your goal now is to sever every thought, every sensation, to reach absolute stillness." Struggling within the flames, Goku muttered hoarsely, "Goten, for you I will endure." But the moment he invoked his son's name, the pain grew worse, tearing another scream from him. In that instant, he realized that even cherished memories were a burden. He could no longer distinguish between the agony of thought and the purity of focus. And so, his true training began, in an endless sea of fire and madness.
10 whole years had passed in the outside world, but within that void, time meant nothing to Goku, while his body and soul crumbled under the weight of endless training. Each time he completed a stage, the mysterious woman increased the intensity. Goku collapsed onto his knees, drenched in sweat, his breathing ragged. He looked at her and spoke in a hoarse voice, filled with despair and anger. "How long? How can I still be helpless before this training?
even with my new transformation, the one even kings couldn't withstand. Just tell me, who are you? Until now you haven't revealed it, even though you know my name. How?" She slowly lifted her head, her tone carrying a deep sadness as she replied, "I lived before the Age of Angels. I was there when there was no ordered universe, no realms. I raised the children of the Grand Priest. I was their adoptive mother." Goku's eyes widened, his body froze in shock, and he exclaimed, "The mother of the angels? Is that even possible?" She didn't answer directly, only whispered in a low, somber voice, "Not all truths are meant to be spoken, Goku. You have a purpose. Focus on it, for time is running out." But Goku couldn't stop thinking, muttering to himself through his pain. Her past, it must have been unbearably harsh. How could the angels abandon her? Her power surpasses even the Grand Priest himself. So how is she imprisoned here? At that moment, Goku noticed something new, a flash of shock in her eyes, like a spark. It was as if she had sensed something happening outside. In a hidden, shrouded place, the Grand Priest stood with sinister intent, surrounded by the Super Dragon. As he whispered his final words to grant an unknown wish, a blinding light erupted, altering something within Zeno himself, as though the priest intended to bring about a complete change in the royal order. The priest thought to himself, "If I could end your journey now, I would. But no matter, I will dismantle it step by step." Inside the void, for the first time, the mysterious woman's scream echoed across the endless expanse. "Hurry, Goku! Focus completely now! You don't have time to finish every stage!" Goku froze at her sudden outburst, unable to understand her urgency. But before he could ask, the pressure on him multiplied in a terrifying surge. The chains weighing him down grew unbearably heavy, as if gravity itself had declared war on him. Gritting his teeth, he struggled to resist. Meanwhile, in the real worlds, the gods of destruction finally set their plan into motion. The skies above Earth darkened with dense black clouds, the entire planet trembling as all the gods of destruction descended together, standing united on a single world for the first time in history. It was a sight beyond belief. The remaining fighters, Krillin, Piccolo, and Android 18, stood frozen in disbelief at this spectacle. Belmod, the god of destruction from Universe 11, stepped forward as their spokesman. He spoke with a clear, chilling voice. "It is truly unfortunate that your hero has abandoned you. We will end this story without any joy. That is the least we can offer in memory of Beerus, and for our honor as destroyers." Together, they raised their hands, destructive energies converging in the sky above. Chi-Chi, who had already lost Goku, Goten, and Gohan, looked up at the blazing heavens with tear-soaked eyes and whispered in a broken voice, "I've lost everything. Death now is nothing but peace." But before the destructive energy could be unleashed, a thunderous cry shattered the silence. "I will not allow it!" It was Trunks, standing defiantly before them. No longer the child they once knew, but a man bearing the weight of a heavy legacy, the strongest warrior left on Earth. His eyes burned with determination reminiscent of his father. In that moment, his energy ignited in blazing blue, Super Saiyan Blue. Raising his hand high, he shouted in defiance, "If you want to destroy this planet, then start with me first." The destroyers exchanged mocking glances. One of them chuckled lightly and said, "Huh, how adorable, a child dreaming of standing against kings." Belmod added with a sneer of contempt, "Then let us grant him that honor, to be erased first." Their powers flared brilliantly, preparing to end everything.
Meanwhile, in the world of the void, Goku was screaming in agony, unaware of what was happening outside. Suddenly, he lifted his head. His eyes were weary, his voice hoarse as he muttered, "What is this?" Before his eyes stood Goten, smiling just as he had in that old illusion.
He was standing near the mysterious woman. The woman smiled faintly and whispered, "Now I've found the key to change." Then, with a gentle lift of her hand, Goten vanished before Goku's eyes, like ashes scattered by the wind. Goku screamed in hysterical despair, turning toward her with eyes blazing in fury. "What have you done?" She answered with a deathly calm, "You will not see him again. Even the fragment of his soul inside you will no longer remain." Goku fell to his knees, his voice erupting through the empty world. "Goten!" The cry echoed across the void, shaking it violently, the very dimensions trembling under the weight of his rage. His aura suddenly ignited as he roared, ripping apart the silence, and with it a blinding light burst through the entire realm. When it faded, Goku stood in his new form, his energy calm on the surface, yet roaring within like a hidden force that even the void itself feared. He had surpassed his limits, once again. The mysterious woman gave a faint smile, her voice carrying both relief and caution. "The plan worked. This is what I needed you to unleash." Goku turned toward her, his breathing heavy, his body glowing with a different light, and said, "You knew I would do it, didn't you?" She replied quietly, "If you want to see him again, then focus now. Don't let your emotions consume you." Goku slowly closed his eyes, struggling to gather what remained of his concentration. Suddenly, he felt something strange, a distant pulse, a familiar warmth, voices of his friends from another place. He opened his eyes in shock. I can feel them." The woman's tone grew serious. "You've reached a level where you can sense what lies beyond. But beware, if you lose your calm now, the void will devour you forever." Clenching his fist, Goku now understood that every thought, every feeling, could become a weapon against him. The woman spoke again, her voice firmer this time. "I will infuse you with my power. You've reached the point where you can separate the particles of thought from your mind. That means you are close to breaking the barrier of the void, but you'll need more power." Goku was stunned, stepping back in alarm. "Wait, what do you mean? Are you going to sacrifice yourself?" But she did not answer. Closing her eyes slowly, her aura began to radiate with a soft white light, illuminating the entire realm. And in that instant, Goku understood. She had not been training him only, she had been preparing him to take her place. Goku clenched his fists, closed his eyes, and braced himself for what was to come.
Outside, everyone had fallen to the ground. Trunks was on his knees, his face filled with helplessness. His blue aura could no longer withstand the overwhelming might of the gods of destruction. Belmod gave his final command, and the destructive energies began to gather like an ocean of fire above the planet. Krillin cried out in a broken voice, "If only you were here with us, Goku." Trunks whispered, his eyes fixed on the trembling earth, "Forgive me, Father, and you too, Gohan. I couldn't bear the responsibility of protecting Earth." The colossal energy erupted, yet suddenly, everything stopped. The explosion shattered into glowing dust as if some unknown force had devoured it from within. Silence fell, and astonishment painted every face. No one understood what had happened until the dust cleared and Gohan appeared. His eyes were cold as starlight, his aura flowing around him like a breeze from other realms. He had achieved Ultra Instinct. The gods of destruction stepped back, their expressions frozen in shock. Krillin gasped, "Is that Gohan? But could he have truly reached Ultra Instinct?" Piccolo exhaled sharply. "He did it. We thought you were gone, Gohan. We missed you." Gohan advanced with quiet confidence, wasting no words. In his heart, he whispered, "Father, I wish you were here to see me. I've kept my promise, carrying Goten's legacy. I've reached the goal, and I won't waste it." Since we've been denied the use of the Dragon Balls, I'll shoulder the duty of protecting Earth and everyone on it." High above the skies, Vados watched in hidden silence, a mysterious smile touching her lips. She whispered as if speaking to the wind, "All of this is for you, Whis. I risked my position. I cannot watch your universe collapse after you lost your post." And deep within the void, where the light was fading, Goku still had his eyes closed as he received the mysterious woman's power. He smiled faintly, a tear of pure energy felling from his eye as he murmured, "You've done it at last, Gohan, and I'm prouder of you than you'll ever know. Endure and keep fighting. I'm coming back to you all."